We are told business survival comes down to flawless execution. The logic is, if you keep everything perfectly stacked, your company remains secure. Pushing all your time and capital into a single product creates massive short-term momentum. You move fast because there are absolutely no distractions. But this creates a hidden mechanical vulnerability. It's a condition called single-path dependency, an operational system where your ability to function requires every preceding step to work perfectly. Look at a standard linear pipeline. Traffic pushes customers to a single product, fulfilled by a single supplier, resulting in revenue. In this system, an external shock to one node, like a supplier shutting down, doesn't just slow things down, it breaks the entire chain. A broken step in this pipeline halts the entire operation. It turns a functional company into a dead asset until that specific node is restored. You cannot perfectly control external variables. Advertising algorithms change overnight. Supply chains back up. Manufacturers raise prices without warning. Maximizing short-term efficiency by relying on a single point of failure guarantees eventual, unavoidable business disruption. This mechanical breakdown directly dictates the internal state of the person running the company. When a business has no backup plans in place, the pressure to fix a broken operational link is absolute. There is absolutely nowhere else to pivot. That intense survival pressure forces leaders into reactive, fear-based decision-making. You make choices based on immediate panic, rather than long-term logic. Single-path dependency traps financial capital, and it traps the founder's mindset in a relentless cycle of anxiety and survival. The alternative to chasing hyper-efficiency is actively building optionality. This requires a conscious trade-off. You have to intentionally divert resources away from your primary moneymaker to develop secondary options. We can evaluate these two operating models side by side to see exactly what you are trading. Looking at resource allocation, dependency keeps capital 100% concentrated. Optionality requires distributing that focus, like a 70-30 split. For the founder's decision state, dependency breeds emotional, reactive choices. Optionality affords a strategic, calm evaluation because there is always an established fallback. Building these fallbacks introduces operational complexity. It demands more time and deliberately lowers your immediate return on investment. Optionality is the conscious choice to sacrifice peak short-term efficiency to purchase long-term structural resilience. Operationally, this process starts with marketing channels. Relying entirely on one paid advertising platform to acquire customers leaves you highly exposed to sudden account bans or cost spikes. The optionality play involves taking a percentage of that daily ad spend and using it to build owned audiences, like an email list. If your primary platform changes its algorithm tomorrow, those email subscribers remain a permanent, accessible safety net. This logic extends directly to physical supply chain logistics. Pushing all your physical production volume to a single manufacturer for a flagship product creates a severe bottleneck. Sourcing, vetting, and testing a backup supplier needs to happen while times are good, long before an emergency strikes. This provides vital negotiation leverage. Without an alternative, you are trapped if your primary partner decides to delay production or demand higher rates. Having a verified alternative means a sudden price hike doesn't force you into a corner. You simply route your purchase orders elsewhere. The ability to calmly and confidently walk away from a bad deal is the ultimate form of business leverage. True negotiating power doesn't come from aggressive boardroom tactics. It comes from having viable alternatives already established. Structural backups provide the stability required for long-term innovation. Looking back at our comparison matrix, we can evaluate a company's capacity to innovate. Dependent models are paralyzed by risk. Optionality creates room for intelligent experimentation. Dedicating a fraction of your budget to untested product lines allows you to explore emerging markets. If the test fails, it does not threaten the core business. Accepting a baseline of small, contained financial losses on failed tests is the required price for immunity against company-ending failures. Applying these frameworks depends entirely on your specific stage of business growth. Consider the early-stage bootstrapper operating with severely limited capital. Attempting complete optionality on day one is a mistake. Spreading thin resources across multiple channels immediately causes scattered focus and stagnation. Early founders must accept the emotional and operational risk of single-path focus to generate their initial cash flow momentum. But look at the scaling optimizer running an established, growing business. If a single supplier bankruptcy or a platform ban can end your company, you do not own a business. You own a liability. The transition from a bootstrapper to an established operator requires actively trading peak efficiency for structural resilience. To maintain this resilience, implement a core operational system, the quarterly disappearance test. This test uses a simple scorecard tracking 3 columns: key pillar, disappearance impact, and alternative in place. Every quarter, look at your operations and ask, if one major part disappeared tomorrow, what alternative is already built? Find the row where your answer is the weakest and spend the next 90 days exclusively strengthening that alternative. Long-term success belongs to businesses that don't just make good decisions today. It belongs to those that continuously engineer better choices for their future.